A WikiLeaks document in its global intelligence archives has generated much discussion for almost 4 years. This document, attributed to the State Department's Office of European and Eurasian Affairs, has the title Report on the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics' Destruction of a Clandestine United States Base on the Moon. However, no digital copy could be obtained as an electronic version was unavailable. 2 years after submitting the initial Freedom of Information Act request, the complete document has been formally disclosed. Following the first publication of this document in the WikiLeaks database and its subsequent discovery by site users, considerable conjecture has arisen regarding its true significance, particularly in light of an actual project to detonate a nuclear bomb on the Moon. Nonetheless, when reviewing the paper, it becomes evident that it was merely a letter addressing a 1979 inquiry conducted by former House of Representatives member Samuel Devine. The correspondence from Douglas J. Bennett Jr., Undersecretary for Congressional Relations at the State Department, clarifies that the assertion regarding the Soviet Union's destruction of a clandestine United States lunar facility in 1977 is false. Devine had evidently received correspondence from an elector named Tade Quentin Arbogast, inquiring about what he referred to as the Battle of the Harvest Moon. The Freedom of Information Act request was initially sent to the State Department in 2019. Subsequently, it was advised that the document be archived at the National Archives and Records Administration, where it would most likely be preserved due to its historical context. The document suggests that the US government kept the existence of this base a closely guarded secret, fearing international backlash and potential violations of treaties, which prohibits the militarization of celestial bodies. According to the account, only a select group of military and intelligence personnel knew of the base's existence, and all activities were carried out under the guise of other space missions. However, the document reveals that the Soviet Union somehow became aware of the base. US intelligence operatives were initially unsure how the Soviets learned about the lunar installation, but evidence suggested that Soviet spies had infiltrated key American space agencies or private contractors involved in the construction of the base. The US government believed the Soviets might have been planning their own covert moon mission, leading to heightened tensions. Insiders have said that the destruction of the base, as detailed in the document, had significant implications for US-Soviet relations. Despite the violent nature of the incident, both governments chose to avoid public confrontation. The US administration feared that disclosing the attack would not only violate certain laws, but also provoke a public outcry about the militarization of space. The Soviet Union, on the other hand, likely wanted to avoid being accused of attacking a manned facility, a potential violation of international law that could lead to diplomatic isolation. The document suggests that high-level diplomatic talks between the US and Soviet Union took place in secret to de-escalate the situation. Both sides agreed to bury the incident, with the understanding that further military actions in space could lead to catastrophic consequences for both nations. As a result, the US never publicly acknowledged the existence of the lunar base, and the Soviet Union never admitted responsibility for its destruction. The declassified document revealing the destruction of a secret US lunar base by the Soviet Union not only redefines the history of the space race, but also provides a compelling reason for the creation of modern space-based military strategies. The covert assault on this lunar base, a US lunar installation, exposed the vulnerabilities that nations face in space and underscored the need for greater control, defense, and security in this new domain. Many insiders who have studied these documents have said that this incident, hidden for decades, stands as one of the foundational events that motivated the establishment of the United States Space Force, a branch of the military focused entirely on protecting American interests beyond Earth's atmosphere. The destruction of this base is a stark reminder of the strategic and military importance of space. During the Cold War, both the United States and the Soviet Union recognized space as the ultimate frontier, not just for exploration, but for potential military superiority. The covert lunar incident demonstrated how space could easily become the next theater of warfare, with devastating consequences if one nation were to gain a foothold in outer space or on celestial bodies like the Moon. The Soviet Union's decisive and destructive response to the US lunar base highlighted how vulnerable space installations are to attack. This lunar base's fall was a wake-up call for the US military and government, showcasing the limitations of current defense strategies when applied to space. Despite technological advancements and the success of NASA's public missions, the covert operation exposed the US's lack of preparedness for defending space assets, leaving vital installations open to sabotage. With this in mind, the lunar base incident set the stage for future generations of military strategists and policymakers to consider space not merely as a domain for exploration, but as an operational environment that needed its own dedicated defense force. This realization would only grow stronger in the decades to come, as both the technology for space warfare advanced and new players, such as China and private space companies, entered the scene, adding more complexity and competition to the space race. Although the US Space Force was officially established in December 2019, the roots of its formation can be traced back to concerns that emerged long before its public creation. The covert destruction of the secret military lunar base and the understanding that space could easily become a contested battleground played a significant part in shaping the direction of US military policy in space. The US Space Force was created as a response to the growing realization that space was no longer a peaceful domain for scientific exploration alone. Just as the lunar base incident showed, space assets like satellites, space stations, and potential moon bases could become prime targets for future conflicts. Space, much like air, land, and sea, was now seen as a domain that required protection, control, and defense. According to military analysts, the lessons learned from the Cold War, particularly the destruction of the secret US lunar base, emphasized the need for a dedicated military force capable of managing the complexities of space warfare. The US Space Force was designed to ensure that American assets in space, both civilian and military, are protected from any potential threats, whether from state actors like Russia or China, or from rogue actors and non-state entities. By creating a dedicated force, the US could streamline its space defense strategy, unifying satellite operations, missile defense, and space intelligence under one umbrella. The Space Force's primary responsibilities include developing systems to deter or defend against attacks in space, ensuring the protection of US satellites and space-based communication systems, and monitoring potential threats from other countries or entities that could disrupt US interests in space. These objectives take direct inspiration from the vulnerabilities that were exposed during the covert lunar base incident, where a lack of space-based defense allowed a foreign power to destroy a critical asset. The exploration of space, particularly the moon, has captivated human imagination for decades. The public narrative of human lunar exploration revolves primarily around NASA's Apollo program. Between 1969 and 1972, 6 Apollo missions successfully landed astronauts on the moon. These historic achievements are some of the most well-documented and celebrated in the history of space exploration. After the Apollo 17 mission in December 1972, the United States effectively ended its manned moon landings, citing high costs and shifting priorities in space exploration. However, this abrupt end to manned moon landings has always puzzled many observers. The immense investments in the Apollo program, both in terms of technology and human capital, made it hard to believe that NASA or the US government would simply abandon lunar exploration after achieving success. Moreover, the moon, with its potential scientific value and strategic importance, seemed too valuable to leave unexplored for decades to come. This discrepancy has led some to believe that not all moon missions were made public. In recent years, declassified documents and whistleblower testimony have suggested that secret moon missions may have occurred under the radar of the public and mainstream media. These documents point to a variety of covert activities, ranging from secret reconnaissance missions to the installation of classified equipment on the moon. Although many of these documents remain heavily redacted, they provide tantalizing glimpses into the possibility of undisclosed lunar missions. Additionally, records from the Defense Intelligence Agency and the Central Intelligence Agency have also hinted at secret reconnaissance activities on the moon. These activities were reportedly conducted to monitor potential Soviet advances in lunar exploration, particularly during the height of the space race. Some of these documents refer to unmanned lunar operations, but the possibility of manned missions remains an open question. Adding fuel to the fire are accounts from former NASA employees and military personnel who claim to have knowledge of secret moon missions. One such whistleblower, a former contractor at NASA, suggested that additional missions to the moon were undertaken under the guise of unmanned lunar operations. According to their testimony, some of these missions involved installing monitoring equipment and conducting experiments that were too sensitive to disclose publicly. They also hinted at the possibility that these missions were carried out by astronauts trained specifically for covert operations, separate from the well-known Apollo astronauts. Another source of speculation comes from Apollo astronauts themselves. In various interviews over the years, some astronauts have alluded to the presence of unexplained phenomena on the moon, as well as potential secret missions. For example, Apollo 14 astronaut Dr. Edgar Mitchell, a strong advocate for transparency in space exploration, often spoke cryptically about military involvement in space and the presence of classified information related to extraterrestrial life and unknown lunar activities. While these statements have not been confirmed as direct evidence of secret moon missions, they have added an element of mystery to the public's understanding of lunar exploration. One possibility is that secret moon missions were part of Cold War efforts to gain a strategic military advantage over the Soviet Union. The moon, located outside of Earth's immediate geopolitical reach, could serve as a platform for surveillance, missile detection, or even military installations. Keeping these missions secret would prevent the Soviet Union from developing countermeasures and maintain US dominance in space-related technologies. Another theory is that secret moon missions were undertaken for the purpose of mining or exploiting lunar resources. The moon contains valuable materials, including helium-3, which could be used for nuclear fusion, as well as rare minerals that are scarce on Earth. If the US government or private contractors had found a way to exploit these resources during the Cold War, it would have been advantageous to keep these activities classified to avoid geopolitical competition. Additionally, there is speculation that some secret missions might have been driven by scientific discoveries that were too sensitive to share with the public. Whistleblowers and conspiracy theorists alike have suggested that NASA or military agencies might have uncovered evidence of extraterrestrial activity or anomalous structures on the moon. In this scenario, secrecy would be necessary to avoid mass panic or maintain control over information related to potential extraterrestrial contact. While concrete evidence of secret moon missions has yet to emerge, the declassified documents, whistleblower accounts, and circumstantial evidence present a compelling case that not all lunar activity has been disclosed to the public. The idea of hidden missions raises important questions about transparency in space exploration, as well as the potential strategic and scientific motives behind classified lunar operations. As new space programs, both governmental and private, prepare to return to the moon in the coming decades, the truth about possible secret missions may eventually come to light. If covert lunar activities did occur, future missions could uncover physical evidence of these operations, such as abandoned bases, unexplained artifacts, or equipment left behind. Whether driven by military strategy, scientific discovery, or economic interests, the mystery of potential secret moon missions continues to captivate the imagination and deepen the intrigue surrounding humanity's relationship with the moon. In addition to the Apollo program and other publicly acknowledged space missions, there is increasing speculation that some lunar missions were classified and carried out without public disclosure. For decades, mysteries surrounding the moon have fueled speculation and debate, particularly following the Apollo missions. Among the most controversial claims is the idea that astronauts may have encountered evidence of extraterrestrial life or ancient alien structures during their lunar expeditions. While some still question whether NASA ever landed on the moon, the majority of experts support the validity of the 6 lunar landing missions. However, a growing number of NASA insiders and whistleblowers have alleged that the space agency has deliberately concealed critical information about what was truly discovered on the moon. One of the most well-known figures making these claims is Dr. Ralph Kennedy Johnston, a former NASA contractor and aerospace engineer. Born in 1942 at Fort Sam Houston U.S. Army Air Corps Base in San Antonio, Texas, Johnston played a crucial role in the Apollo program. He was one of the 4 civilian astronaut consultant pilots at NASA, responsible for helping train Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins for the Apollo 11 mission. Despite his extensive background in the aerospace industry, Johnston has since become widely known as a NASA whistleblower, though he rejects that label. Instead, he insists that he is simply sharing first-hand information that the public has a right to know. His allegations center around the claim that NASA is hiding evidence of ancient alien cities and advanced extraterrestrial technology on the Moon. He asserts that some of these technologies are so advanced that they appear to manipulate gravity itself. Johnston's conflict with NASA began when he was ordered to destroy a near-complete collection of high-resolution glossy photo prints from the Apollo program. These images, which are reportedly of higher quality than what is available to the public, allegedly contain evidence of artificial structures and other anomalies on the Moon. Johnston defied this order, choosing instead to preserve the photographs and later share them with the public. Over the past 4 decades, numerous scientists, engineers, and former NASA employees have accused the agency of withholding data and covering up evidence of anomalous objects in space. Many believe that NASA has deliberately hidden the discovery of artifacts on the Moon and Mars, as well as suppressed evidence of potential life detected by the Viking probe in the 1970s. Johnston's claims align with these suspicions, as he insists that Apollo astronauts captured photographic proof of alien structures during their extravehicular activities, EVAs, on the Moon. According to Johnston, NASA was so determined to erase this evidence that they ordered the destruction of all EVA images at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. When he refused to comply, he was ultimately dismissed from his position. His decision to go public with these allegations resulted in his termination from NASA and led to widespread controversy. In 2007, following the publication of Richard Hoagland's book, Dark Mission: The Secret History of NASA, Johnston's name appeared in quotes criticizing NASA for hiding crucial information. Shortly after, Kay Ferrari, the director of NASA's Solar System Ambassadors program at JPL, asked Johnston to resign. When he refused, citing First Amendment protections of free speech, Ferrari allegedly forced his removal from the program. Following his abrupt departure, Johnston stated that he was frustrated with the US government's decision to sit on classified evidence for more than 40 years. He claimed that images taken during the Apollo missions revealed ruins of ancient structures, including massive glass domes, towering stone spires, and even what appeared to be castles suspended in mid-air. The low-quality versions of these images that have been released publicly, according to Johnston, fail to capture the full extent of what was truly found on the Moon. Johnston remarked in an interview that he has nothing to lose. The subject of alien structures on the Moon remains one of the most hotly debated topics in space exploration circles. While NASA continues to maintain that there is no evidence of extraterrestrial artifacts, whistleblowers like Johnston argue that the truth is being deliberately suppressed. His claims raise questions about the extent of classified information held by space agencies and whether the world has been kept in the dark about discoveries that could reshape our understanding of the universe. As discussions surrounding NASA cover-ups and extraterrestrial encounters continue, Johnston's testimony serves as a reminder that not everyone is convinced by the official narrative. For years, NASA has been accused of hiding evidence of unidentified flying objects and advanced spacecraft captured in its space imagery. While the agency has consistently denied such allegations, several former employees and contractors have come forward with claims that UFOs have been deliberately removed from official photographs before being released to the public. Among these whistleblowers is Donna Hare, a former NASA contractor, who has made extraordinary claims about the existence of high-resolution images of UFOs that never made it into public view. Hare, who worked for NASA in the 1970s, stated that she was given access to restricted areas where she saw classified space photos. According to her, NASA has a department specifically assigned to airbrush UFOs and other anomalous objects from space images before they are made available to the public. She claimed that she personally saw photographs where unusual objects were removed or edited out, ensuring that no evidence of extraterrestrial crafts would be revealed. In her testimony, Hare detailed a specific encounter with a colleague who worked in the photographic department. He confided in her that he was regularly instructed to remove evidence of UFOs from images taken by NASA's spacecraft and satellites. She also recalled seeing a high-resolution image of a disc-shaped craft floating above the Earth's surface, which was quickly removed from the room once she asked about it. Hare's claims align with long-standing suspicions that NASA has withheld crucial information regarding unexplained aerial phenomena. Many believe that if UFOs had been spotted in space or near the moon, NASA would have every reason to suppress this information, either due to national security concerns or to avoid mass panic among the public. Several other former NASA employees and contractors have made similar statements over the years. Some claim that astronauts aboard the Apollo missions saw strange objects monitoring their activities on the moon, only for their transmissions to be silenced or edited before reaching the public. There have even been reports that NASA possesses images of structures on the moon, suggesting the possibility of extraterrestrial activity or remnants of ancient civilizations. The idea that NASA airbrushes or censors UFOs from its images is not new. Over the decades, amateur astronomers and independent researchers have scrutinized official space photographs and noticed unexplained anomalies, such as mysterious lights, unusual shapes, and objects that appear to be artificially constructed. Some believe that NASA's reluctance to address these anomalies publicly is part of a broader effort to keep the public unaware of the full extent of what exists beyond Earth. One of the most compelling arguments in favor of a NASA cover-up is the sheer number of reports from former employees, many of whom had no reason to fabricate such claims. If Hare and others are telling the truth, then the space agency has been actively concealing evidence of extraterrestrial encounters for decades. Hare also suggested that some NASA employees were warned to stay silent about what they saw. She recalled a chilling conversation in which a colleague expressed fear of losing his pension, or worse, facing severe consequences for speaking out. If this is true, it raises serious ethical concerns about how much the government and its affiliated agencies are willing to hide from the public. Another strong piece of evidence supporting the NASA cover-up theory comes from live-streamed footage from the International Space Station. On numerous occasions, NASA's live feed has suddenly cut off when an unexplained object appears in the background. This has happened multiple times, leading many to question whether the agency is deliberately shutting down live transmissions to prevent the public from seeing something they weren't meant to see. The implications of these claims are profound. If NASA has indeed been suppressing evidence of UFOs and extraterrestrial technology, then the entire narrative of space exploration could be missing key information. Humanity may not be alone, and there could already be evidence of intelligent life that has been hidden from us. As more whistleblowers come forward and technology advances, it is becoming harder for organizations like NASA to keep such secrets buried. In recent years, the US government itself has admitted that military pilots have encountered UFOs that exhibit capabilities far beyond known human technology. With so much growing evidence, the possibility that NASA has been involved in a decades-long effort to obscure the truth becomes more plausible. The question now remains: how much longer can NASA and other government agencies keep this information hidden? If Donna Hare's testimony and that of other former employees are true, then the world may be on the verge of a revelation that could change our understanding of the universe forever. Whether through whistleblowers, leaked documents, or future space missions uncovering undeniable proof, the truth about UFOs and their connection to NASA's space exploration programs may soon come to light. In recent years, NASA has released hundreds of photos that appear to show unidentified flying objects approaching the International Space Station and other space missions. Many of these photographs depict unusual, unidentified objects that do not match any known satellite, spacecraft, or space debris. In some cases, the objects appear to be disc-shaped or orb-like, hovering near the ISS before suddenly vanishing or changing direction at unnatural speeds. NASA has historically attributed these anomalies to light reflections, ice particles, or camera malfunctions, but critics argue that the consistency of these sightings, along with their advanced maneuvers, suggests something far beyond conventional explanations. There have been multiple instances where live NASA broadcasts from the space station were suddenly cut off just as a mysterious object entered the frame. These abrupt interruptions have led many to suspect that NASA is actively trying to conceal evidence of these encounters. Some former employees and whistleblowers have even alleged that NASA regularly edits or censors footage before releasing it to the public. If these UFOs are indeed advanced extraterrestrial spacecraft, it would mean that NASA has been silently observing their presence for decades without providing full disclosure to the public. The increasing number of these images, coupled with whistleblower testimonies and government admissions of UAP encounters, strongly suggests that humanity may not be alone in the universe. Many believe it is only a matter of time before NASA and other space agencies are forced to reveal the full truth about what is really happening in space. For one amateur astrophotographer, a routine session of capturing celestial beauty turned into an extraordinary encounter with the unknown. A massive, disc-shaped UFO silently gliding past the moon. The story begins when an individual named John set up his telescope and camera equipment in his backyard to capture images of the moon and nearby celestial objects. The man described himself as an amateur astronomer and said that he's logged hundreds of hours taking photographs of the night sky. Although he said that he doesn't have the best equipment, he added that these countless hours have helped him capture breathtaking images of the cosmos. As the man peered through his telescope and adjusted the focus, he noticed a peculiar object hovering near the moon, describing it as a massive disc-shaped craft, unlike anything he had ever seen before. Startled, yet intrigued, he quickly adjusted his camera settings and began capturing images of the UFO as it glided silently across the night sky. The craft appeared to be illuminated from within, casting an otherworldly glow against the dark backdrop of space. The man claimed that there were just 2 shots with the mysterious object, and that one of them was considerably clearer than the other. Strangely enough, he did admit that he had previously seen strange objects in the sky. He said that, when stargazing throughout the years, he had seen a number of fast-moving objects, but had never been able to photograph any of them. The man claimed that the object didn't resemble anything he often sees because of his experience, noting that satellites don't move very quickly and that they don't appear to be animal-shaped. The allure of astrophotography lies in its ability to capture the sublime beauty of the cosmos, revealing the hidden wonders of the universe in stunning detail. Armed with telescopes, cameras, and a passion for exploration, astrophotographers spend countless hours scanning the night sky, searching for elusive targets to photograph. The night sky is vast, and astrophotographers often spend hours observing and photographing it, and inevitably, some may encounter unusual or unexplained objects that they cannot readily identify. Astrophotographers typically focus their cameras on specific targets in the night sky, such as stars, planets, or nebulae. However, they may inadvertently capture UFOs while scanning the sky or adjusting their equipment, especially if the objects are moving quickly or unexpectedly. For astrophotographers, encountering UFOs during their sessions represents a profound and often unsettling experience, a reminder of the vastness and complexity of the universe and the limitations of human knowledge. While some embrace the mystery and intrigue of such encounters, others are left feeling unsettled and uncertain, grappling with the implications of encountering something beyond their comprehension. In recent years, advances in technology and the widespread availability of high-quality cameras have led to an increase in the number of reported UFO sightings during astrophotography sessions. With the rise of social media and online communities dedicated to astrophotography, photographers from around the world are able to share their experiences and images with a global audience, sparking intense speculation and debate about the nature of the objects they encounter. Despite the skepticism and controversy surrounding UFO sightings during astrophotography sessions, some researchers and enthusiasts believe that these encounters may hold clues to the existence of life and advanced civilizations beyond our own. They point to the consistency and credibility of eyewitness accounts, as well as the quality of photographic evidence, as compelling reasons to take such encounters seriously and explore their potential implications for our understanding of the cosmos. The mystery of the moon. Since the beginning of time, humans have been captivated by the moon. It is undoubtedly one of the most mysterious celestial bodies in space, if not all of our solar system. The moon expeditions abruptly came to an end after 6 successful trips to our galactic neighbor, with several more missions already scheduled and funded. Furthermore, no more manned trips have been undertaken in spite of technological and space exploration breakthroughs. Although ancient humans were probably well aware of its importance for maintaining seasonal conditions and life on Earth, it is also the subject of strange coincidences that may not be what they appear. One side of the moon is always obscured from view due to its precise and flawless rotation around the Earth, and unlike all other known moons, its orbit is exactly circular rather than elliptical. Most of us are aware of the numerous craters on the moon, yet even they are abnormal. To be more precise, they are all the same depth. Reputable science says that this shouldn't be the case, and that the craters should have more depth variance and appear quite different from how they do. Humans have observed unusual phenomena and bizarre activities on the moon even before they even started to consider the possibility that they could walk there. Numerous fleeting lunar phenomena have been documented on or above the moon's surface for ages. These anomalies include glowing patches, odd-colored clouds, unexplained light bursts, and more. A massive burning torch was observed by multiple monks on the moon in 1178. Astronomers from all over the world have reported seeing mysterious objects floating above the moon. These objects are supposed to be diverse in color and shape. The phenomenon of mystery airships first captured the public's imagination in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a time of rapid technological advancement and widespread fascination with the possibilities of flight. Eyewitness accounts from around the world described sightings of strange, cigar-shaped vessels gliding silently through the night sky, their metallic hulls gleaming in the moonlight. One of the most compelling aspects of the mystery airship phenomenon is the consistency and credibility of the eyewitness testimony. Reports of sightings came from people of all walks of life, including farmers, scientists, and military personnel, who described similar characteristics and behaviors exhibited by the mysterious vessels, detailing that these aircrafts were unlike anything they had ever seen before and were able to fly at extreme speeds. Many witnesses reported seeing lights or windows on the craft, suggesting the presence of intelligent occupants within. Moreover, some accounts described encounters with the airships at close range, allowing for detailed observations of their structure and features. It's important to note that these eyewitness accounts came before the invention of the airplane. The mystery airships seen close to the moon before the invention of the aeroplane raised profound questions about the nature of their origin and purpose. Some speculated that the airships were experimental prototypes developed by secretive inventors or government agencies, testing advanced propulsion systems and flight technologies far ahead of their time. Others proposed more exotic explanations, such as extraterrestrial visitation or interdimensional travel, suggesting that the airships may have been piloted by beings from distant realms beyond our own. One intriguing aspect of the mystery airship sightings is their proximity to the moon. Numerous eyewitnesses reported seeing the airships flying in close proximity to Earth's celestial companion, their sleek forms silhouetted against the lunar backdrop, and while skeptics dismissed these sightings as mere coincidence or imagination, others saw them as evidence of a deeper connection between the airships and the lunar realm, a connection that hinted at hidden truths about the mysteries of space and time. One possibility is that the mystery airships seen near the moon were part of a larger cosmic phenomenon, with implications that extend far beyond our own solar system. The Apollo 11 mysterious messages. The conversations between the astronauts and mission control in Houston, Texas, were audible to the television viewers. Most people were not aware that the astronauts had access to an additional cue, which was inaudible to the spectators. The causes of this were rather straightforward, and they may change to this channel if they had an emergency of any type or if they just wanted to share something private with millions of people. Neil Armstrong, the first man to step foot on the moon, would switch to this channel and tell the Houston medical officer that they are parked on the crater's edge and are observing us. The dark side is so named because it is a portion of our cosmic neighbor that we have not yet thoroughly explored, despite the fact that some refer to it as the far side of the moon, and because the moon's rotation coincides with Earth's, we are unable to see this other side of the moon. While many have looked into the possibilities like mysterious bases remaining in this shadowy region or possibly an alien presence on the moon, other hypotheses indicate that a covert mining activity may be occurring there or possibly weapons testing conducted in secret. According to some reports, a covert space program has built a human colony on the moon from which it constructs spaceships or functional spacecraft. There is no concrete evidence of advanced life or even top-secret military bases on the moon, despite the abundance of mysterious images of its surface. However, they are too numerous and relatively speaking well-defined to be completely disregarded. Who constructed the artificial structures in these photographs, even if we grant for a moment that they are man-made? Throughout history, astronomers and amateur skywatchers alike have reported sightings of strange objects moving across the lunar surface or hovering in the vicinity of the moon. These sightings range from fleeting glimpses of unusual lights to more detailed observations of structured craft exhibiting advanced technology. While skeptics often dismiss such accounts as misidentifications or optical illusions, the sheer volume and consistency of eyewitness testimony and photographic evidence suggest that there may be more to the story than meets the eye. One of the earliest recorded sightings of UFOs above the moon dates back to the early days of lunar exploration, during NASA's Apollo missions in the 1960s and 1970s. Astronauts and mission control personnel reported numerous encounters with unidentified objects during their journeys to and from the moon, including sightings of strange lights and anomalous craft that appeared to be monitoring their activities. While official explanations often attributed these sightings to natural phenomena or equipment malfunctions, many astronauts maintained that they had witnessed something truly extraordinary during their time in space. In the decades since the Apollo missions, advances in technology have enabled amateur astronomers and skywatchers to capture increasingly detailed images and videos of UFOs above the moon. These recordings depict objects of various shapes and sizes, ranging from small points of light to large, structured craft with distinct features. Some observers have even reported seeing objects flying in formation or performing seemingly impossible maneuvers, defying the laws of physics as we understand them. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence supporting the existence of UFOs above the moon is the sheer number of independent sightings and recordings from around the world. Amateur astronomers and astrophotographers have captured thousands of images and videos of unidentified objects near the moon, many of which exhibit characteristics that defy conventional explanation. While some skeptics may dismiss these recordings as hoaxes or camera artifacts, the consistency and credibility of the eyewitness testimony and photographic evidence suggest that there may be genuine anomalies present in our skies. Theories abound regarding the nature and origin of the UFOs recorded above the moon. Some speculate that these objects are advanced spacecraft piloted by extraterrestrial civilizations, while others suggest that they may be secret military craft or experimental drones operated by terrestrial governments. Still, others propose more exotic explanations, such as interdimensional travelers or time travelers from the future. While each theory has its proponents and skeptics, none provide a definitive answer to the mystery of UFOs above the moon. One possibility is that the UFOs observed near the moon are part of a larger cosmic phenomenon, with implications that extend far beyond our own solar system. Some researchers have proposed that these objects may be part of a galactic surveillance network maintained by advanced civilizations, monitoring the activities of emerging planetary civilizations such as our own. If true, this would suggest that we are not alone in the universe and that our planet is under the watchful eye of beings from distant stars. Another possibility is that the UFOs observed above the moon are manifestations of a deeper cosmic consciousness or intelligence that transcends our understanding of space and time. Proponents of this theory suggest that the universe itself may be alive with consciousness, with UFOs serving as messengers or manifestations of this higher intelligence.